Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be for you. I'm Programmer, and joining me on commentary we have...
Seraph04.
And welcome to the Azure Dreams Tournament. I'm going to just give our runners the countdown. And we'll be on our way. All right. So, if you've not seen Azure Dreams before, you're in for a treat. Azure Dreams is a roguelike game. It was released on the PlayStation in 1997 in Japan and the rest of the world the following year. And this is the second chance bracket where our runner Full Featuritis is going to be taking on PouletSansTete. And they are off. So, would you like to tell us a little bit about more about this game, Seraph?
So a lot of people are now kind of relating it to the Mystery Dungeon, like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. What it is it's a 40-floor climb. The 40th and the first floor are procedurally generated on the first time you go in. Well, 40th is always, but the first is procedurally generated on the first time you go in. After that, every time you go in, the second floor is procedurally generated, but otherwise every other floor is completely random, to the point that programmer here actually undid the entire, basically reverse engineered the entire game just so that way we could actually have the same tower. Until he did that, we were racing completely different towers.
Yes, and you can see our runners here picking up their starting kit. Their starting kit consists of a copper sword, a wooden shield, a fireball with 5 charges on it, a medicinal herb, and an egg. That egg, it's of a different color between the two runners, but it is the same Palumpa egg for both runners.
Which is that little slime with the tail right there.
Absolutely. And a weak little water monster. Just about all the monsters in this game fall under an elemental triangle where fire is strong against wind, wind is strong against water, and water is strong against fire. We see here both runners, their first task is to explore the floor, gain a few levels. That first level that they gain is going to be super important to get up to level 2, which will increase their max HP from 16 all the way up to 26. Now, no increase is going to be just quite as high going forward. Next one brings them from 26 to 30, so that's not quite as important as that very first level.
But you do want to make sure that you're going up in levels so that way, not for the direct attack, although that does help out, the flame ball that they have, well, the fireball that they have is relative to their levels. It's 4 times their level is basically what it does the spell level. So you want to get it high enough that it'll actually damage the enemies without sitting there doing tiny bits of damage.
Right. And very importantly, as your level goes up, you're familiar, that little blue guy following the main character Ko is going to increase in level, and his spell Brid is going to increase in level. And when the runners are attacking, and CUNY or Trash, or Trash is, as Poulet has decided to call him, is casting his spell on your weapon. That's called a mixed magic attack. And as CUNY's level goes up and the Brid spell level goes up, you will begin to deal more damage. And that's your main source of damage in this run.
Yeah.
We've seen the runners pick up so far a red sand, and Poulet has opted to use it. Fee has held on to it, that red sword, red sand increasing the sword's power by 1. And they also did find, I believe both runners found the binding ball.
I believe so, yeah.
when you find a ball in the tower, it's going to have somewhere between 4 and 7 charges on it. They won't know exactly how many, so they'll have to be tried very carefully if they've already used 4.
There is
charges.
a way to find out. There's an item around that they can find. It's a truth glass, but for something like the blinding ball, unless they're really going to be relying upon it to kind of do a hide and seek, kind of ducking away from enemies, they probably want to use that on something else. Hopefully they get something that would be far better for them to use it on.
Definitely. We saw the runners pick up a holy scroll. It'll be quite nice as they deal with these cyclones here. Cyclones, a little bit more damage. Not too bad if you're taking them on under reasonably favorable circumstances that you haven't lost too much health and you've got a decent enough level.
The other thing that we saw Fee do is if you're on the higher ground, you get a little bit of a damage boost, and from the enemy, you get a damage reduction. So that definitely helps out too.
Oh, for sure it does. I was having a look at the code today, and it looks like that damage boost or damage reduction is nearly akin to the elemental boost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'll want to make sure that I get final results, so don't quote me on that just yet. But we see that Poulet has opted to move on up to the 4th floor, while Fee's taking some time to continue exploring floor 3. I know Fee's style. Fee is a rather meticulous runner, who just happens to have stepped on a frog trap. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there are any monsters around, so that's not...
Yeah, that does
putting her in...
look to help her out.
Right, but she was already on lower than...
Low health, yeah.
Yeah, and your defense is significantly reduced when you are a frog, so it can always be scary. Another holy scroll that who is found, thankfully, because we are running the same tower. Fee will have a chance to pick it up on the same floor if she goes to find it. Here, Poulet's picking up a medicinal.
Nice. That's the second. This is looking to be quite a kind of not really healthy seed, but definitely something where you're more akin to stay alive than to be trying to fight.
Yeah, and speaking of staying alive, that Shimura seed boosting Poulet's defense by 1 is definitely going to help out.
And another blinder ball. Wow.
Yeah, I think the other one was a binding ball.
Yeah.
So causing paralysis. The blinder ball
one blinds them.
Right, and they'll continue.
Depends on the situation. Depends on the situation which one can be more useful, but really both of them kind of, like I was saying, kind of fits back into that more of a hide and just try to survive mentality rather than a fighting. So I don't think that we're going to be seeing a lot of offense after floor 5.
Right. And, they are taking their time to grind up. They have not gotten very good actual equipable equipment. They're still both rocking their original sword and shield. I do know that Poulet has used
red sand.
A sand on both. He hit a rust trap.
Oh yeah, he did get blued. Oh, is that? Yeah.
Or
so...
is either cursed or rust trap? I did not.
No, I believe that's just from a rust trap. The curse symbol on the actual shield itself. So.
Okay, well then that does sound to me as if it did actually occur through being cursed. If it is cursed, then he will be unable to remove it, and that's not really great because Copper Shield does not add that much to your defense. He wouldn't be able to pick up, say, a Mirror Shield to be able to reflect spells, or a Diamond Shield to boost his defense. Of course, at the upper floors, it may not matter too much.
At the upper levels, the Mirror Shield is better than the Diamond Shield, but you have to get pretty high before that's really that important.
Yeah. Oh man, with a steel sword here that Poulet has found. once Fee finds that, she is going to win for sure.
Well, because Fee hasn't used either of her red sands yet. That'll definitely help her out because it's a big difference.
It sure is. For those who are unaware, there was a time where Fee opted to use a steel sword over a life wand in the previous tournament, and so the steel sword has become a bit of a meme within the community. We see here Poulet taking on some of these Menuevas. Menuevas, somewhat dangerous as they can split off clones that are at low level. They're water monsters. They deal a fair bit of damage. I've heard speculation as to whether they ignore defense, and I've not seen any evidence that they do.
Well, the question with that one comes from not these initial ones, but do the higher level ones do that when they start showing back up?
I guess there's a lot of code that I need to look into yet, so we'll. I don't.
We're grateful that you're
so,
looking into it at all.
Yeah. So. Ooh, paralyzed trap.
That's not good for him. But at the same time, with that kind of, oh wow, this is a trap room. Yep.
Oh, definitely it is. Taking advantage of that paralysis to easily take out that cyclone, no resistance.
At this point, I would have been slashing every step in front of me to make sure that I wasn't stepping on another bad trap.
Oh yeah, definitely. Trap rooms are definitely a thing. At first, I thought it was just RNG happening to place their sleep ball for Poulet. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Fee has found her blinder ball and checking whether or not to explore. Definitely, I think exploring the floors 5 and below, totally worth it. Poulet here on half health, generating up a little bit after that encounter with the U-boat. U-boat's very scary because they're always going to get the first hit on you if you let them.
Yeah. So a little bit of an elaboration. The reason why we say floor 5 and down is because we kind of have neutral or like mostly fire or wind monsters, whereas at floor 6 and higher you start running into a lot of the water monsters, which, as we said, water's weak to fire. So Cune suddenly is not near as much of a help as he was before.
Right. We see as Poulet gets a little bit lower on health, he's having to do some AI1 strats where he's putting Cune on standby, so Cune will attack as soon as the monster gets into position. Going ahead and feeding a PETA to Cune to get back some of that MP.
Ooh,
Holy Bell, that'll be
good
nice.
Pickup.
Looks like Fee has equipped her Blizzard Sword.
Which is not going to help her too much unless she finds a water familiar later in the tower. Because it won't really boost the attack from the fire.
Yeah, we can see that the two of them are both attacking Menuevas, and that added damage from the Blizzard Sword really isn't helping out too much, just comparing damage numbers between the two. I like that, Gene Freak. Let's hope both our runners get up to 40.
That would be really
no
cool.
favorites here. I'd like to see them both hit that elevator with the freeze frame finish. That we have to declare them co-winners somehow. But the tower is not quite as nice. Poulet finding the elevator right away, regenerating a little bit of HP by waiting a few turns and saying, "Nope, I'm out of here. Later, clown," and heading straight on up to floor 10, where we're exiting the water floors, getting back to the fire floors, and taking on here this peacefully napping Boga and Troll for some nice experience.
Whereas the trolls on the early levels, well, after you get that for level 1 to level 2, the trolls aren't too big of an issue. Once you get up here, they can shoot you from a long ways away. They start becoming far more of a threat.
Oh, for sure. And as some of our runners have learned, and unfortunately learned at the inopportune moment, when they're confused, they will still target Ko. Their AI completely ignores the fact that they're confused. Oh, that slow trap. That is unfortunate.
And at a bad time, too, yeah.
Designed to use a fireball. I don't disagree with that. I think he probably could have been fine without doing that, but he definitely would have taken a little bit of extra damage, and he didn't quite know what was coming up ahead.
Yeah, and with it being a clown, that's not necessarily a bad choice at all.
Yeah, clowns, I've always thought they've hit reasonably hard, and no one wants to deal with lowdown.
No.
Recovery ball on Poulet's side. He's not even checking that sword.
Well, I think he's just kind of, I wouldn't say resigning, but he's kind of just relying on the fact that he's used the red sand so much on his current sword that he's just gonna ride it out.
Yeah, I have known Poulet to pretty well stick with his starter kit. There we see the bowgun troll helping out Ko by shooting his friend.
Oh, I
directly
loved
into the
that.
back. I remember Sam Knight once made a Manueva factory with a bowgun troll hitting a Manueva for 1 damage. He was unable to get over there, and so he was just cranking out the Manueva clones. It was quite abusing and quite a mess to clean up. Meanwhile, Fee is checking that sword, just a gold sword, so nothing to get too
Not
excited
really
over.
missing anything, yeah. And V caught up really quick, too.
Oh yeah, taking that little bit of an elevator train and not wasting any time on those scary water floors. Taking the opportunity now to explore a little bit more, see if there's something better that she can find equipment-wise or additional supplies, because she won't have that luxury to explore as they get higher up. Poulet taking on a volcano here. Volcanoes do a fair bit of damage, but I don't think that they're by any stretch the worst monsters.
Oh, no, I would say in this area the griffins are far worse.
Right. Especially as griffins are able to strike you at a distance with their spell.
Rise spell. Yeah.
Definitely. We see Fee there doing a little bit of AI manipulation, waiting for that Dreamin' to exit the room, and it disarms the bomb trap for her. How nice of it. Ooh, warp trap on Poulet's side.
Oh, that could have been a lot worse, though.
Definitely. Only getting warped one short room away.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch that on Fee's side if she hits the same one. I think that's the same. Is that the same room?
Yep.
Ah!
Oh man, that's even luckier. Yeah. Wow. And traps can really make or break a run. They really can.
Oh, for sure. Meanwhile, we see Fee also opting, as soon as she finds the elevator, to move up to floor 12, joining Poulet. This is neck and neck here. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, no, definitely. A good close race is always better.
Right. Their resource differences aren't too much. We see that Poulet did have to use 1 charge on his fireball, but he does have 2 levels on Fee.
Yeah.
But otherwise, and equipment, small differences there, but Fee does have that steel shield that is adding to her defense compared to that cursed copper shield that Poulet is running.
One thing that's going to help Fee here, or rather will not be a boost for Poulet, is that blue collar is in the room with the elevator. So unless there's a go up trap, she's going to get that as well. Right,
yeah, and she has used a trap loop on that floor, so That's
It looks like there's only one other one, so she would see it.
right.
Although, if it were a go-up trap, they might be inclined to take it, depending on quite a few different things.
It's possible. But here she's come across that blue collar giving her the ability to, if she has a second familiar, to bring it out at the same time. Generally, runners won't use that. Money
They
wand.
can use it to fuse. Yeah, I didn't see the money wand.
I think we're in the room with it here on Fee's
Is that
side.
it? Yeah.
As she uses a trap loop to see and disarm that slow trap for good. And
Yeah.
choosing to pass up the money wand for the moment. I don't know if I agree with that. I probably would have chosen it over even a +2 Blizzard Sword. Ooh, that's.
I was gonna
prize
say, I
definitely
don't know
hurts.
what the difference that a wand with the spell magic makes compared to an upgraded, decently high level to begin with sword. So
I haven't run all the numbers, but I do know that you do get a multiplier out of using a wand, whereas using an off-element sword, you do not get that multiplier. So I would definitely take
yeah.
it. Oline, that's a nice pickup. Boy, CUNY's health is getting quite low. Poulet, that's down to 3 health on CUNY. I am surprised. Yeah, medicinal, definitely a good play. I would have
Yeah.
potentially, though, had CUNY take a step back, even when giving it to him. Yep, moving it back, that's definitely a safe play. I like what Fee's doing here, just saying, nope, using her fireball right away.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not sure I would have used that second one considering her health, but
Yeah, and it might have been a way to try to get the high ground advantage. I think, was that the fireball that she dropped there?
I think so.
I know that Fee, I've seen her notes. She meticulously tracks how many charges she's used on each ball. Absolutely.
And that beginner ball always has the same amount, so she probably knows that she's probably out. At least that's my guess based on her dropping it.
Right. That makes absolute sense.
Man,
and-
this mule train is just not letting up for Poulet.
For sure. And we see Fee's actually now taking the lead here as
Yeah.
Poulet begins to lead this line. Mules are a little bit separated, so but there's no way he'd want to take that engagement. Yes, except here on favorable terms, although that miss is not going to help.
No, but the fact that the other one turned around is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Fee is now has a 2-floor lead as she moves on to 16, while Poulet has to contend with this mule, which is no longer on lower ground, and the second one is coming up quite close. Ooh,
Yeah.
though that troll sword on Fee's side does absolutely hurt. It's standing on the high ground, ignoring her shield, cutting through and dealing
So
significant amount of damage.
Thing that you mentioned before, that she had a little bit of security from. Ooh, that's a lot of enemies on Poulet's side. But the that shield that she has that's stronger than the one Poulet has isn't going to come in any more useful against these sword trolls.
For sure. I like that horse parade.
I don't like horse parades. They're not fun.
That's true. Ooh, an egg and an Olim in the same room.
That's a true, I think.
I know that she definitely has a. Yes, there she is.
Yeah.
Using that truth class's wee dog. Not
the best.
There's always
But
some little.
This is Q&A. It could definitely be useful.
Yep. Meanwhile, Poulet's, we see what he does in that same situation. Doesn't wait to take the hit. Uses a fireball charge right away.
Okay, so yeah, I
received-
was actually wrong. The copper shield was cursed. I guess it's when you go into the menu, not the normal menu, but the actual item menu. It shows it. So he did actually have a cursed copper shield, and he can take it off now.
Right. We see. Ooh, do not leave. Yes. Okay. Good job.
Oh,
Fee.
and-
making sure not to leave CUNY behind. CUNY will not walk through that holy field. Using Holy Scroll on a Menueva when she's quite that low, that's a perfectly reasonable move. Because all the clones will also be friendly. And easy way. Or do I have that wrong? Are the clones? It looks like the clones are hostile.
No, they are just like normal. They're not friendly. It's only the base one that's friendly. I recall that one specifically.
Got it. Yes, and Volga also confirming our experience. Fireball here on Garuda. Garuda being a wind monster that can just decide to abduct you or your familiar, and being so close to the elevator, if he decides to just go straight on up. Surprised she doesn't.
Yeah, Poulet doing the same sort of thing on his end.
Right. Poulet now in the lead. If I were Fee, I probably would have taken out the Menueva just for the experience. I know it feels like betraying your friend, but was he really your friend if you had to brainwash him? These are the questions we ask ourselves.
Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, isn't it?
The enemy of my enemy is my ally. So,
We're about to see something interesting on both sides. Both of them using their familiars to fight the pickets, because the pickets go twice, but they only do 1 damage, but they can also steal items. But if they're fighting your familiar, they're just going to do 1 damage each attack, so you're not going to really have to worry about too much unless you get quite a few, which we're starting to kind of see on P's side.
I like that saying. Enemy of my enemy is my XP. Speaking of my XP, Poulet is deciding that dangerous spider is going to be his XP as he uses it as a binding ball on it.
Those things hit hard, so that's probably not the worst idea.
Yeah.
I am confused about Poulet. Oh, I think that backfired for Poulet.
Yeah, I tried to go in to do a little bit more damage.
Why.
Go ahead.
But I was gonna say, I still don't know why you wouldn't have just relied on Cune, unless Cune got hit really hard before. But looks like he has plenty of pals, so I'm kind of curious why they did that. Maybe he's lucky, and this is the nope. Ooh, really not having luck with these pickets.
Yeah, and that's not
the fact that one's attacking. Yeah.
From you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, any picket that has stolen from you, they're gonna run away. Even some like just your familiar, he'll run away from that. So if they're moving towards you, it's not one of the 2 that's stolen an item. So right now, Poulet's down those 2 items, and those are 2 pretty nice items to have.
Yeah, don't know how many charges were left on that fireball, but
I'm pretty sure that was the second one. I think he put down the first one, because I think Poulet finished that one off as well with attacking the picket in the first room.
Got it.
He keeps running into multiple pickets at once.
Yeah, this has been it's been like some sort of strike zone. It's full of pickets. And
I think this is one of the ones.
Yeah, could be using a sleep ball, putting it to sleep so it can't get away, and then taking it out. It does recover from sleep. Rather, I guess not.
Oh, it wasn't, but got lucky that time.
Yeah.
We'll see here if it. This is one of the. Yep. So we saw I was trying to run past and just keep moving, but because of the A1, Cune attacked it and it was weak enough that it died, gave back the Holy Bell.
We see Fee, after having a little bit of trouble with the AI1, just go ahead and pick up that picket and throw it away. I don't disagree with that at all.
No,
I think
definitely.
Pickup is a little bit underused. It isn't a for sure thing. You've got a 5 in 8 chance or a 62.5% chance of that pickup working on an enemy that you can pick up. Some enemies are just deemed too heavy.
Yeah, and you trying to remember which ones you can pick up and then taking that risk. Like I always forget about it because it just doesn't feel worth it to me.
Sure. Not the best starting room for Fee. The elevator's right there, but a sleeping
Manueva is... Yeah, that's going to help out.
Yeah.
And the sleeping Arachne, too, so...
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you had sleeping enemies, you made that not quite
get rid of that one wee dog, and you're fine.
Right. So we'll see if that use the Holy Bell proves to be a good investment, and how Poulet...
I was going to say Poulet lost theirs, but they got that back, right?
Right. That wee dog is hitting for, more than a quarter of health. Using the Fireball, taking another hit down to 17. Using CUNY to finish it off.
Good choice.
Yeah, Repel Ball, who cares? So a medicinal and a fireball charge compared to a holy bell use. They did both get the truth class, so we'll have to see how that factors into the rest of the race. Meanwhile, Fee here taking that engagement with Unicorn on high ground to get a little bit more favorable circumstances. It is already a wind monster, so she is already working on a enemy that has an elemental disadvantage, so getting the high ground just further
accentuates her ability.
Absolutely, thank you. Starglass is here on Poulet's side, and deciding to use his truth classes on that blinder ball. Low charges on the blinder ball. That could be interesting because Fee has not used her glasses. If she chooses to use it later, on something else, blindness on Poulet's side. He'll be able to take out that unicorn without too much trouble.
Ooh.
But go ahead.
So up here we see on Fee's side a Viper. Vipers hit really hard. Really, really hard. You want to try and avoid them. But you can also distract them with eggs. Ooh,
it is
that
true.
Was a bad turn.
Yeah, Poulet getting blinded again, choosing to wait out blindness. But yes, thank you for the reminder, because we are into Viper Town. Vipers, in addition to hitting hard, as you mentioned, and being water monster, so definitely not favorable for a single climb, where CUNY is your main familiar. Their attacks will deal, or have the potential to deal, a effect to lower your attack. Poulet deciding to cosplay as a frog for a while, hopping along. No major harm comes of it as he comes to take on this unicorn.
It is interesting seeing Fee taking the same route as the wee dog, because one thing we've kind of realized is that enemies will try and stick to one side. They won't always follow that route, but they're more inclined to. So seeing him stick to that left side, I would have been more... It might not have been a bad idea to go on the other side and wait for the wee dog to continue on its path, but doesn't look like it really hurt Fee at all.
Right, yeah. As we see both runners about to move up to floor 22, neck and neck as before.
Yeah.
Fee thinks about the wooden wand. Is she going to take it? Yes, I think so. Yeah. As she feeds the Wake Up
like
to CUNY, which may seem like just a throwaway thing, but it does at least give 3 MP back to CUNY.
And we actually saw Poulet do that on the last floor right before going up the elevator too, so it's something, especially when you're starting to get up here and you're starting to not have the MP, that it's a nice little extra bit to help you stay alive.
For sure. Poulet now taking a little bit of a lead, deciding to use Fireball against that block. Block, again, being a wind enemy, so that Fireball dealing a fair bit of damage. Meanwhile, Fee facing off against
Blinding another Viper.
Yep, blinding it. Blinder Ball being used at a distance, definitely the way to use those. That is one of the disadvantages of the Blinder Ball, but it does tend to always last a while, so...
So to elaborate, the reason why you want to do it at a distance and not up close is if there's something in front of it, like a creature, it will attack. Even if it's a friendly, like another enemy, it will attack. So if you do it and it's right in front of you, it'll still attack you.
Absolutely, and it will continue to move in a straight line until it hits a wall, at which point it will turn right invariably. Meanwhile...
Looks like Poulet's not going for those wooden wands.
Yeah, wooden wand, absolutely nothing special about it. Just would have been just as good as that flame wand. Out of fireball charges, Fee will have to take this out. She is using a wand and is reasonably leveled, but those blocks do have high defense. So taking that...
and a good bit of hit points, too.
Yep, choosing to use a binding ball.
Kind of funny, giving it back its own taste.
Yeah. So Poulet here using the sleep ball, using 2 charges on this Viper to try to take it down. That's one of the
quite a bit of resource use, but
yeah, I'm surprised perhaps after the first one that he didn't just pick up the Viper and throw it away. Ooh.
Yeah. And that's kind of payback for him doing the binding earlier, or her.
Yeah, because you may be able to move up, but CUNY is still going to be paralyzed when you reach the next floor. Meanwhile, Poulet running around with that Viper as his trophy decides to throw it away. Absolutely agree with that. Fee picking up CUNY, running along with him as she reaches 44. Ooh. 34 damage. I don't know exactly how much CUNY has, but that's probably over half. Oh, yeah, definitely over half.
Yeah, I was going to say, last I saw, it was like 55 or so. If Poulet's is at 58 and he's 18, then it's got to be less than that. Ooh, right. This is not looking good.
Yeah, single tile hallway definitely restricts your options. No tiles, blank between CUNY and the Viper. Decides to build in a little bit of buffer as she'd be able to take a full hit. Choosing which she goes with the Palumpa Egg. That is not enough to take it down with a single hit. The mixed magic attack thereafter enough to take it out.
Was enough.
She's got to make her retreat. She does have,
and it's not even. Yeah, it's not even just the Viper. There's also that Zoo coming up behind it, so that Zoo could put her to sleep. And now with a block in front of her, it's just not looking any prettier.
Yeah, I definitely think some major resource like a Leam or something has to be used in this case.
Yeah, agreed.
To get rid of the block, so she can at least proceed forward. But here comes another Viper.
God,
this floor is
on
not.
Poulet's side, we're seeing something that could really help her out. Nice, didn't pick it up, but that's a pillar ball. I think that's probably why he used the.
Yep, looks like he's going back for it, but Fee still in a bit of a bind here, deciding what resource she wants to use or how she wants to get out of the scrape. I think she would be able to take another hit. That's not a crit, but if she uses that blinder ball, I do believe it's going to turn right and head straight for her. She could then I think it would move to the next space over. Yes, this is close quarters here.
I was gonna say on that last spot, she could have put the egg, the wee dog egg, could have sacrificed that, put it down right in front of the Viper behind her. But that would have only gave her another move and would have given up the. Man, she just was not in a good spot. Period. And that bind only lasted 2 moves. Oof.
Yeah, not what you want to see there. Meanwhile, we see Poulet taking a shot in the dark with his recovery ball, healing up CUNY, which he knows the direction CUNY's in, who is taking out something or other.
Yeah, no clue what. Oh, that would have been perfect to have.
She does have the recovery ball. It's just the amount of time that she has to use it. Because
well, no, I was referring to the fact that the herb in that room was actually the eyesight herb.
Yes, that would have been a nice pick up, that Rorim herb. Fee carefully weighing her options as she's squaring off against this block. Another
just not getting
situation.
any better.
Yeah, I think she's got to use another resource, but the question is, what resource does she want to use? Yeah, she's got another Olim, I believe. She does have that Wee Dog egg.
I think she used them all.
Did she? I guess I wasn't tracking my Olims carefully enough.
I think she only had 2, and I believe she used both of them during this ugliness.
Yeah, okay, so she's
probably see right here while she's going
to the side,
nope.
using the blinder ball to.
Oh, that could actually, depending on how she wants to do this, that could actually really help her.
Yeah, still a tricky spot though. Binding ball, Zoot. Ooh, that is it. Fee is down on 24.
That floor had it out for Fee. Simple as that.
We know that was not due to hasty play. That was just a tough spot. No. I'm going to let Poulet know that
his running into, and it's funny, right as he runs into a Balrog too.
Yeah, one moment here.
While he's doing that, I'll kind of explain what Poulet is doing over here, just in case we ever run into another one. So the Balrog, it will, if you throw anything at it, it will eat the item, and then it will spit out another item. It will be of completely random percentage what it'll be, and it can be some really good items, or it can be some just generic items, but you can get some items that you wouldn't really be able to otherwise. So usually when you come across one of those, you want to try and use all of its magic to try and get a good item out of it, or two.
All right, so our runners are loading up the next seed. I will go ahead and give a point here to Poulet to indicate that he has won the match. I guess we didn't really talk a little bit about win conditions. So you'll win this race if you make it to floor 40 before your opponent. If neither runner makes it to floor 40, the runner who does reach the higher floor first before either leaving the tower voluntarily through something like a wind crystal or Olim, or involuntarily by being hit by a monster. And if there's a tie, the tie does go to the runner who got there first.
Which is also why, if you're the first person to get to 40, it falls under that same ruling of who got there first, because you can't go any higher than 40.
Absolutely. Okay, we've validated that the runners are using the same seed. So we'll get that same tower on both sides. I really do love that as we're able to see how they're able to handle those different situations and really emphasize their different play styles.
We've gotten to see a lot of different ones, but not just even like today, like all throughout the entire tournament. It's been interesting to see all the different styles.
Just giving a countdown here.
Neither of these have been drastically aggressive, but some people are really aggressive. Just go straight up the tower, don't ignore enemies. Very much just trying to get as high as they can. You got other ones, kind of like both V and Poulet to a lesser degree, that are very meticulous, try to find all the items and try and be as defensive as possible. And neither one's really any better than the other, because you're never gonna be able to have the same sort of reliance upon your strategy to be better.
Yep. I do want to answer a question from chat here from Laconic Shock, who asks, is there a reason to use Wind Crystal and not in the PlayStation version? In the Game Boy Color version of this game, which was released 2 years later, a Wind Crystal acts like a Olim, where you can either there, if you use a Wind Crystal, you'll leave the tower as you would in this game, but there you can throw it at an enemy and it will just wipe that enemy out. Here, if they leave the tower for any means, or by any means, we record that highest floor that they were on when they use it. So in a match like this, there's no advantage. You'd be much better off if you're in a dire situation, just hoping that a monster misses over.
And with that,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and with this kind of starting off, it's gonna be pretty similar to last time. Actually, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit about the reason for the Wind Crystal and why you would be wanting to leave the tower, because the tower is only a part of this game. There's so much more to it. There's town building, there's kind of a dating sim aspect, and you have to go into the tower to progress pretty much anything. Oh, and we're already finding a wand and a militia spell. But there's so much more. So you have to go into the tower. Like the idea of you go in there, you find Wind Crystal, you get up to a high level that you're going to have to risk dying, and then you use the crystal, get out, and just kind of keep going up, getting better and stronger each time. That's what the game expects you to do.
That's right. Ooh, Diamond Shield. Nice pickup.
Wow.
On V's side. We do... I should mention...
Probably she isn't equipping that already.
Yeah, well, she may be just kind of mentally dealing with things one by one, or she could be holding out for elemental shields. Who knows? But yep, going in there, equipping that diamond shield, generally a no regrets move. Shields and swords do have a higher chances of being cursed, but generally, if you find a diamond shield, that's what you'd want to use throughout. So no risk. We see both runners have now equipped that, not cursed, reducing that damage that the troll's dealing down to 1. Really going to make these early floors that little bit easier in case they do happen to get into a pinch due to a trap or something like that. Both runners staying with their copper sword. VE doing something interesting here with the militia spell.
Yeah,
I like that play.
I didn't really think about that until recently, how that's going to help her out with getting an extra little bit of experience.
Oh, yes, because it raises the level of all the monsters on the floor by 1. So they're going to be a little bit tankier, but trolls are a great source of experience in these early floors, and just being able to get a little bit more. You can see here, getting 6 from each, while on the same level as them.
And the other thing is, with that diamond shield, as you mentioned, you're not really gonna see much of a difference between some of these earlier levels in terms of how much you're getting damaged. Ooh, frog. But so in that sort of situation, it's not gonna hurt her any more than them still being the same level.
Absolutely. Scarlet Wand pickup on Poulet's side. That is tasty. The Scarlet Wand, not only is it a wand, so you have that added attack boost, but it's also the same element as CUNY's fire attack. So it is going to be doubly boosted. That is a very nice find.
Hopefully Fee finds it too, so that way it stays nice and kind of even.
Oh yeah.
Because that could make a big difference. There we go.
And there we are, equipping it. Very good thing that our runners did not equip that Stream Wand, which, did have a chance of being cursed. Something like, I don't want to quote numbers off from the top of my head. Now she's able to take
higher than you want it to be when you don't want it.
Absolutely. One-shotting these non-cyclone monsters. Absolutely. We see Poulet moving up a little bit more quickly here, having to fight something in the dark. That looks like that was a balloon, by the way, that zipped around there.
One of the only kind of unusual death animations.
Yeah. A lot of them will just kind of fade out, but it is interesting to see little bits of care that they put into the game of giving some unique death animations. I like the Manueva's kind of horrified face as you deal that final blow.
Yeah.
Monster Loop picked up on Fee's side. Not usually something that's terribly useful. I'll see runners use it, and I do wonder if afterwards they are looking at that minimap to predict what's coming up.
It also kind of can give you an idea of just the general shape of the map. I save it for the higher ones, but that's because I have bad experiences with those Vipers, so try to get out of Viper Town as soon as possible, avoiding all enemies. But on the lower levels, you don't usually see it get used too much, just because if you run into a monster, you're probably either going to be fighting it or it's in the water stages, in which case you're running from it anyways.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to Sandlight for pulling up that stat, about 12.5 or 1 in 8 chance of wands being cursed, compared to, I think, nearly 20% for swords and shields. But right now they have, with the exception of potentially wanting a mirror shield at the higher floors, they are set on equipment. They've got that Scarlet Wand, they've got that Diamond Shield. Let's go.
That's kind of funny that it was kind of the opposite. It's the opposite of last time in that regard.
Absolutely. Prison Trap, not phasing Fee.
Yeah.
We see that Fee is one floor lower, but she has been doing a little bit more grinding, so she is keeping on level pace with Poulet as she fully explores that floor. It's that meticulous play that we've come to expect from Fee.
So to comment on kind of a reference in chat from Laconic, yeah, we actually, programmer, the other commentator, he actually has, like I said earlier, reverse engineered the game, found how pretty much everything was generated. Am I correct?
Yeah. There are several different RNG seeds that get mixed together in interesting ways. One based off of the frame count, one based off of number of actions that are taken, get mixed up in interesting ways, and actually two different RNG generators entirely, one built into the BIOS. So did make those sets, so each floor will be the same. We saw egg pickup.
This early, I'm not sure that it'll be too much of useful, would it?
That was on floor 6. Was that?
Yeah, it's 6.
I can pull up my
handy resources.
Exactly. I should have had them up, but need to do a brief restart at some point. So, treasure loop, doing exactly the same thing that you mentioned before, and not only just showing where the actual items are, but also giving some semblance of the floor layout. Mana Wave and not giving too much trouble to Poulet here, taking it out in 2 hits. A little bit of a whiff there, but maybe he just wanted to really be sure it was dead.
Yeah.
All right, I do have those numbers, so that egg could be a most likely to be a bloom, but could easily be a balloon, cyclone, Menoweva, or what he'd probably really be hoping for is a clown. That's a 9.38% chance.
Yeah.
Clown has a trait that doubles the spell level, so that could really make a difference if they make it up to floor 12. Find that blue color and then fuse Clown into CUNY. CUNY here running off a little bit. Poulet catches up with him, holds him tight until his temporary blindness wears off and moves on his way. Bloom here shouldn't be too much trouble. Blooms for other non-CUNY familiars do have the chance to brainwash them if they use that attack. But CUNY is immune and was also
so that's one thing. Most of the familiars have their own innate traits where not necessarily. Oh, we were wrong.
We have seen. So I am absolutely with the taking time to heat up this egg. I would probably have done it not in the starting room, unless she's trying to use its ability right away. Its ability here, in addition to attacking viciously, like it's just done on CUNY there due to the slow trap that is being faced. This is a bit of a tight spot for Poulet.
Yeah.
I would definitely consider using some sort of resource. Tumna Fruit, pretty. Or Olim, yeah, that works too. Get rid of that, because when you don't have a familiar out and you're slow, these monsters are actually going to be acting twice in a row, and then your familiar would be acting twice, and then you'd have your next chance to act. So, Fee, I believe she did get the hatch off fully. I can get back to what I was saying before of U-Boat having that ability to scout a floor. Saw a match earlier in the tournament where that was used to great effect by Runner.
Yeah,
it was basically like star glasses.
Yeah, I actually remember that one well, because that was the one used against me.
Yeah, so I thought it was. Didn't want to say and get that wrong potentially.
No, yeah, it was used against me in the first game of my last race. It makes a big difference because it can allow you to find where the elevator is and avoid a lot of fighting that you don't need to do.
Yep, if you make an easy calculation there, same one Poulet made, just straight on up, taking that immediate elevator, rhetorical answer, value boat. Yes, that's absolutely what that U-boat was. Let's see if he takes advantage of it the same way. Hasn't used his ability so far. Maybe she's saving it for the higher floors. Poulet being a little bit suspicious about that room, coming into a white sand here. That's definitely very nice. Increasing the number of charges on the ball by 1. Even if he doesn't know the number, he does know that instead of being somewhere between 4 to 7, if he hasn't used any charges yet, it's now somewhere between 5 and 8 charges. Working on some of those Dreamins here. Dreamins by themselves, generally not too big of a problem. They're fairly weak. Their sleep attack, if it does proc, can be dangerous at times, but Poulet dispatches them without too much trouble. Picks up a Holy Bell. That'll be nice for later floors.
Yeah.
Potentially just...
And Poulet got, as they mentioned in chat, he got kind of lucky not getting that Warp Trap stopping just where he did.
Yeah, so to answer Gene Freak's question, I haven't seen all of the tournament matches, but I do know that Gruta is allowed until...
it's kind of a friendly agreement.
Yeah, if runners were to choose between themselves not to use it, Gruta having the ability to abduct Ko and act like as a portable warp trap for very low MP. If you taking a moment to study the room here, deciding to throw CUNY away, that was probably not what you wanted to do. I think that was a mistake.
Yep.
I would probably set CUNY's AI to 1 so she can catch up with him. Yep, that's exactly what she does. Probably didn't think that the end of the hallway was quite that far away. But yeah, she does regain control of CUNY, but
has to deal with that oh wow, kind of lucky that crossbow troll is just deciding not to attack.
Yeah, could have definitely made things difficult. Reaching back up to floor 11 where Poulet is. I don't believe that's the same room, but oh no, they're both in the starting room.
It's the same room, yeah.
Right.
They're in the exact same spot because Poulet was having to try and deal with those monsters that Fee's having to now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fee having dispatched the other monster, taking on that volcano.
Used a bit more resources, but
yep.
Oh wow, another one. Oh, and that's a Kraken.
That's I missed it. Looks like a trap room.
It's a Kraken. Oh, on Poulet's side?
I see a trap room on Poulet's side. I did not miss the Kraken, but
it's an egg that was in that same room. Yeah.
So, I mean, and here we see Fee picking up that same egg. Definitely, has some potential to be useful, but Krakens to me are much better. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they're not so much good unless you're able to really, at least from what I've seen, really, unless you're able to fuse them, right?
So I know that they'll give their electric shock ability. Do they also give a useful spell? We see here Fee working on taking out that
troll while
presumably going back to she's entering that same trap room. I'm surprised the runners didn't do more safety swings. Oh yes. Thank you, Sand Knight, for mentioning mixed magic that you could potentially get if you do fuse in the Kraken, so you can get that Thunder Blade, 100% paralyzed chance. Does not do very much damage, but you don't need it to do damage once you've paralyzed the enemy and can beat them senseless with your Grit attack.
Which actually goes back to the to something that we actually haven't seen and haven't had to address, which is we didn't run into any Krakens, which was good luck for the runners, but if you run into them and they attack you, unless you have a wand, unless you have the exception is the training wand, but every other wand attacking with it, you will not get zapped. But any sword or the training wand, you will get zapped back whenever you attack it. So it's counterproductive to fight him.
Or it certainly can be in those cases. Rise doing 40% of Poulet's health there. That's not the greatest thing, but he is next to elevator. He can heal up if he chooses before heading up to the next floor.
There's one of those Krakens right there.
Yep. Poulet saying no thank you. Not having to even do the math equation of Kraken plus Olim. Oh, letting the Kraken go. That's a bold move. Presumably she wanted for the inventory space, but I definitely would have gone for the fusion.
Well,
ooh, low health down there on Poulet's side. Using
there's
AI
also no guarantee
monstrax.
that she would find the blue collar, because remember, that was last time.
That's true, and they're only coming to floor 12, and she
12.
has gone up. I don't know that she got the blue collar, but
Nope, neither one did.
We've seen things before where the blue color doesn't spawn. I've not yet figured that one out exactly.
Yeah.
So that may be why she decided to release the Kraken. Pardon me for saying it. I probably would have kept it around. Ooh, that rise is going to be painful. Down to 22. She's able to go to the next floor, but
that was risky.
yeah, one never wants to go up to the unknown at low HP. Thankfully, the room that she started in was not so bad. In a situation like this, would you try to heal up some first, or would you begin exploring as Fee's doing?
One thing I would want to do slide exploring, like how she went to the one side and saw that there was a Neil there, just so that way that I get an idea of like potential threats around me.
Sure, yeah, and it does look like she's playing it very carefully here, but it wouldn't take too much on low HP. But she's deciding to use her HP as a resource, knowing that it will come back with time, rather than using medicinal. That trap loop there, nice pick.
Perfect thing for her too.
Exactly. Somewhere getting between 32 and 39 HP. Meanwhile, Poulet here also on 14, still neck and neck, also having used that trap loop.
This is just a good race all around.
Oh, for sure. Poulet does have a level advantage, being at level 11 compared to Fee's level 8.
Kind of getting back to the idea that Poulet's a little bit more aggressive, where, like I was saying before, Fee is one of those that doesn't necessarily want to fight. She wants to just kind of stay alive.
Definitely. And Fee dropping that shield. It's definitely, I like how Fee's menuing there, choosing to give the shield to CUNY. It's faster to do that than to choose have, which should probably have been hold, and then throw it away, and then pick the next thing. Absolutely great technique there. Nice manipulation there, knowing that she was not instead of that Newell, and choosing to turn around and face the troll. Does look like there's a Newell coming her way, so choosing to blind the troll. CUNY does take a hit, but meanwhile on Poulet's side, he's facing off against two sword trolls, deciding to use a fireball. I can't blame him there. If those both had decided to hit him, that could have been very dangerous indeed. Yeah, Gene Freak reminding us that we still haven't seen U-boat strats. Ooh, CUNY down on Fee's side to that blinded troll, no less.
Actually, that's the first time we've seen either of them lose their familiar.
That is. No restored scrolls. I mean, she does have the U-boat, so maybe we'll see her pull that out on a case where she hasn't seen the elevator spawn. Yeah, exactly. We do know that those runners are going to be looking for the elevator on the on that spiral in. Again, she saw it, is able to go and know that it's safe to head straight for that. Meanwhile, Poulet
luckily
fighting that Garuda.
Fee missed the slow trap that Poulet hit.
Oh, yeah. She probably would have been able to maybe wait that out.
Well, that's what he did, but he got a couple Garudas that popped in while he was trying to do that, as well as heal up. So that made a kind of a little bit of a delay for him. So that's why Fee's kind of a little bit further ahead in terms of exploring this floor that they're on together now.
Yes, and she's having to face off against pickets. Oh, that's throw. I would have definitely aimed that for a hallway.
Like so she just did there, yeah.
Back, because when you don't have you're
I would be
familiar,
tempted
pickets
to
are-
walk with it.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to walk with it for a time, at least until
you get
coming
it,
with
until
your
you get a
branch.
nice yeah.
Thankfully, the pickup luck has been phenomenal, and there also
Yeah.
isn't too bad of a risk doing a pickup, because
With
if
the-
you
with
pick
the
up and
pickets,
lose,
yeah.
it's either going to do a little bit of damage to you or attempt to steal. But if you didn't go for the pickup, it's also probably
It's
going to
gonna
do
be the same effect.
So,
Yeah.
definitely worthwhile. Nice heads up play from Fee there. Fee finds another egg in the
Wow.
elevator room. This has been I'm not gonna say it. I have to say it. It's been an excellent seed. Sorry.
At least
Yes.
it's not a Sand Night pun.
Yes, and we see chat reminding us that that egg could be a Garuda. So that could be quite worthwhile. Way to skip around the floor. She does have truth glasses there, but using an item like truth glasses does take your turn, so I like that she's moving right along. Does have a bit of a lead here on floor count, but it's
So I
eager
want
to
to.
move-
I'm actually
Go
gonna
ahead.
throw a resource because you mentioned before that you were using the resources. I'm throwing into chat the link to our Discord where you can find easy access to the resources that you and a few other people have gotten to figure out like the odds of it being potentially a Groot egg or other eggs.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, because you'll see resources like how to manipulate monster movements, like what Fee did there, binding the monster and then knowing that it's going to definitely take the left path in front of it.
Yeah, and got lucky with the rust trap not doing anything to the diamond.
Oh, well, diamonds do not rust, my friend.
They don't?
So
I thought
do
that they
not.
did. Okay.
So that's
That's
definitely
good to
one
know.
reason they're worthwhile. We see a binding ball charge being used at that narrow trick point, so at least turns her around the Menueva. She's doing a good job of avoiding encounters, but as
That
she's
was some
doing
interesting movement.
That so she did that because if she moved into the room, the
I have to deal with that the Manova.
choosing to use a Tumna here, turn that into a frog, and knowing that she's not going to be able to take it down in time, just throwing the frog away. It will turn back in time, and we are going to. Yes, interesting meeting. Yeah. So.
Oh,
that Menueva's-
at least it's sending the wee dog back.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to be thankful for that. But as you mentioned, the spell ball level is based off of coast level times 4, capped at 99. And since
Oh, her
Fee
being
was
such a
only
low
at
level.
exactly not enough to take it down in not 1, but not 2, but 3 hits. Fee saying, "Get away, Picket." Picket takes the left route, as was mentioned. Monsters, unless they're aggroed or blind or playing by their own rules, are going to take the left path. Fee finding blue sand, boosting up her shield a little bit.
Answer a question in chat asking why not kill that frog for experience. The amount of time that the monster is a frog is not predetermined, so it could turn back really quickly. It's not likely, but it could turn back really quickly. And with it being the Arachne, which already hits really hard, very risky play.
Mm-hmm. We see that Poulet picked up a ice rocket, and Fee is having to using the Arachne to take out the wee dog. Must be carefully monitoring HP
The amount of
values
damage
there.
she did, yeah.
Exactly. But that was a bit of a tight situation. Those Arachnes do hit pretty hard. Oh, and she sees that the way that she wants to take is blocked off.
Man.
Arachne is
She's
on her
having
tail.
bad luck with these monsters keep coming directly at her.
Troll egg, not nearly enough. That's
No.
Ooh, this. I don't know that they're.
I don't think that she's gonna be able to get out of this.
So the way that she could would be by using her value boat and releasing it above. Well, oh no, she would have needed a turn to pull it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. Fee is down on
That's
19. GG.
Yep.
Let's get some GGs in
Fee.
chat for Fee. As I let her and Poulet know that they've completed their races and see if they're up for a friendly third.
Even with the fact that this was a 2-0, this was a really good match.
For
they
sure.
were head-to-head the entire time. Like, you don't always see that. It seems like we've had some really good matches during this entire tournament. This definitely was one of them.
Oh, for sure. This tournament's been super hype. We're going to stop today with just 2 matches. We will, though, be inviting our runners here to join us for an interview. So I will be sending them the link for that. One moment here. All right, let's. All right, we've sent one. Let's get the other link sent. All right, so we should be joined by our runners
momentarily.
For a brief interview. Yes, for a brief interview. As Poulet is in a star glasses room. Looks like we will be joined by Poulet here. GG, Poulet.
Thank you.
So do you have any so before we ask your thoughts on those seeds, I should say that both matches were very close matches. We saw that you and Full Featuritis
who's now with us.
Hi.
Hi, GG.
Hello.
So I was just letting everyone know that both of those matches, very close matches, as we had the two of you actually trading the lead back and forth,
We were on
always
the
staying
same stage almost all the time, and I think the biggest difference I saw was 3 stages. At which point that was one of those elevators, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt it whilst we were
That's
playing.
nice.
It felt to me that it was super close. In the first match, the tower was just given every spell it could have done to get us an advantage, and they were all on the main path, so there was no chance that neither of us had gotten all of them. And in the second one, we were gifted a diamond shield and a scarlet one basically off the bat. So
Yeah,
I
this
knew
is
that it was
insane.
gonna be. I knew it was gonna be a hard match on both of those two.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then all the eggs that you guys picked up too on that
Oh my
second one.
goodness.
Which I don't think, Poulet, you didn't see what the first egg that you guys picked up was, did you?
No, I didn't. What was it?
It was
It was a.
it
It was.
was it Go
It's
ahead,
like,
Pete. You get
it
to
was
tell
what,
us.
sorry?
It was a U-boat, which I was
Oh,
looking
really?
forward to using,
Oh
but I never
man,
got round to it.
I could have used the U-boat. But the towers were really full of resources. I mean, my inventory was oozing with stuff like bowls, bells, scrolls, everything.
Mm. Yeah,
Right.
it wasn't hurting for items at all.
It was just several.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
amazed that you were able to take it quite that long, and also join us for commentary, Poulet. That was nice. But yeah, there were just a few dangerous situations, and I was watching chat, and chat really agreed that they were just some tough spots where Fee, you just got kind of
You got pincered.
pincered.
Yeah, again and again. Floor 24 on the first one, and floor, I think it was 15 on the second one. Same thing happened. I just kept on getting
Was
turning
24
around, going a different way, finding something else that was in my way, turning back around, and there was now two things back the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Poulet was actually kind of struggling on that same floor that you ended up dying on that first seed. Like, it was not a fun floor.
Well, yeah, I mean, after
No.
I died, I was waiting, and I realized, man, okay, so Poulet, because you didn't call it immediately, Poulet got onto the floor after me, but has not yet reached the end of the floor. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, I hope he dies.
That's not very nice,
know how
but
that goes.
I understand.
And then
Yeah.
almost the same thing happened again.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of me being a little bit slow, getting notices out, and also just taking a moment to just make sure that there's that I'm not doing anything preemptively. It'd be, a nightmare to have
Oh,
to.
yeah. It doesn't matter if my intuition was wrong, but it was still just like, man, I was right. This was pretty close one way or another.
Yeah, it really was.
For sure. Well, do either of our runners have any final thoughts?
Well, GG to Fee, I remember last tournament you were pretty much learning the ropes, and now you're a fierce competitor. So
Yes, I've definitely gotten
very
better
glad
since the
about
last
this.
time you knocked me out.
Oh,
Well, I'm not knocked out yet. I'll see you in the finals.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Alright,
you still
alright,
have
alright.
another chance.
Yeah, I can
Sounds
go
good.
away through losers bracket. I haven't had anyone that's been like completely outstripping me yet this time around, so it's got as good a chance as any.
yes, and
It's been a nice field. There hasn't really been anybody that's looked out of place. Like, even I thought I was going to be really weak, and I was not an easy out. So this is gonna be tough getting back through any of the brackets.
Oh, it's going to be super tight.
right, but the meticulous play that I loved that you had taken notes before on your ball usages. I'm guessing you did that again because I didn't
Oh
see
yeah.
you use a ball.
I
when,
also liked seeing the Arachne used as a weapon.
Oh man, I
Because
had so much
you
fun
knew-
with that.
She actually picked up and threw an Arachne and killed a wee dog with it. 'Cause
Oh, that's nice.
I guess yeah, like to have the knowledge of just how much health that it has to be able to do that. Either you were really taking a risk, or the notes you were taking were insane.
I don't take notes on monsters, but I felt really confident in that throw that I was going to get what I wanted out of it. I also enjoyed
And you
throwing
did.
every single picket that came near me.
yeah,
Which was like 20.
Yeah, like, get out of my face! I don't have my familiar anymore. Just go away.
Yeah, those pickets in the first run were quite annoying. They still
Oh, yeah,
half my bag.
I barely saw them in the first one.
Yeah, they race. It was all Poulet seeing them. In the second one, it was all Fee seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just very glad we didn't see too many Krakens.
Oh,
I think we
hatched a
saw
Kraken. I
one
was so-
total.
The only
Yeah.
Kraken I saw was the one I hatched.
There was that
Oh.
one, and then there was one that was approaching Poulet as he was standing on an elevator to go up, waiting to get health back. That was the only Krakens we saw.
Yeah, they were kind. They were very kind today.
Yes, but in the end, the tower has claimed a few more victims,
Yes.
and I'm looking forward to some great matches from the both of you in your respective brackets, and I hope to see you two meet up in the finals.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Yes. And so with that, I will bring our match to a close. Thank you to both of our runners, Full Featuritis and PouletSansTete. I do encourage everyone who's watching now to give these runners a follow. They've done a great job putting on a show for us today. I'd like to thank the wonderful folks over at Speed Gaming who have been a pleasure to work with, helping us set up these tournaments and get these matches going. A particular shout out to Mind of Me for being our awesome person to help us get this race set up. And finally, I'd like to thank Seraph and Chat for joining me on commentary today.
And thank you, programmer, not just for commentary, but also de-randomizing it so we can have races like this that are basically the same, getting to see a tower that's the same for both sides. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
quite welcome.
Yeah, thank you guys for commenting.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, with that, have a good day, everyone, and join us for the next race, which I believe is on Wednesday. Take care.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.